All of this is happening because of one thing: the stupidity pandemic. There is no problem with our basic intelligence, which is very much intact. What we are losing is something subtle: our capacity for critical thinking, or in casual terms, sensible thinking. We have changed from outside, but the instinct to divide people in us and them is still deep in our minds. Hi, I'm Dr. Uttam Shiralkar, a psychiatrist from England. We see people lie outright and make absurd claims just to defend a politician they support. A celebrity does something crazy yet gets praised. We get hooked on trains that have no substance. Speakers shout at each other on matters they don't know about. So, seeing all this, you wonder, how can someone be so ignorant and so confident? Why do we tolerate such nonsense? All of this is happening because of one thing: the stupidity pandemic. There is no problem with our basic intelligence, which is very much intact. What we are losing is something subtle: our capacity for critical thinking, or in casual terms, sensible thinking. The problem is so widespread that it is called pandemic. You may say, oh, come on. There may be some problem, but calling it a pandemic is over the top. You may not notice it, and you might think that it is not that bad because it is happening slowly and subtly. It becomes apparent to the public only when there is a big bang, like they see the fake news spreads faster than facts and causes riots. Or sensible conversation is shut down in shouting match. But how did we get here? Why is this happening? What is causing this stupidity pandemic? The first is our tribal mentality. You may know that about 1,000,000 years ago, we lived in groups or tribes. At that time, our survival depended on being part of a group. Over the years, we have changed from outside, but the instinct to divide people in us and them is still deep in our minds. It is at the heart of our social identity. Our self respect is linked to the groups we belong to. When our group is shown positively, we feel happy. When it is shown negatively, we don't like it and we feel personally attacked. In that case, the tribal rage or group anger gives us the strength to fight with the one who said bad things about our groups. It also gives us sense of purpose. In the Indian context, this is what happens when caste or religion are mentioned. Because of this, people don't just disagree with opposing views. They treat them like enemies and threats to their survival. And that's where stupidity begins. The more uncertainty we face, the more we become tribal or primitive. In the times of fear and confusion, our mind needs clarity. Tribalism or groupism gives that clarity. Us versus them, right versus wrong, safe versus dangerous. We resort to tribalism because that way we can avoid thinking. Thinking is hard job. So instead of thinking and finding the truth, we seek justification for feelings, which is easier. By the way, tribalism is not limited to politics or religion. It is about core identity. It is about defining who we are by saying who we are against. And once you have joined a group, questioning any of that group's views is not allowed. It is betrayal. Thinking for yourself becomes unacceptable. That's why people stick to the dumbest ideas, even when those ideas are absolutely false. This is an essential factor behind stupidity pandemic. The death of independent thinking in exchange for collective agreement. We have stopped thinking for ourselves. We have chosen belonging to a group over truth, and it cost us our capacity of sensible thinking. And this is seen even among intelligent, rational people who are expected to think well. So, this first factor was psychological. Then, now the second factor is technical. We know there are various social media tech platforms today, and they provide us most of our information. But the tech platforms are not neutral source of information. Don't get me wrong, there are lots of positive things about these platforms. They do provide us lots of information and they have been very useful, but they have also become tools of manipulation built to increase engagement at all costs. They don't prioritize facts, truths, or balanced views because what captures attention isn't careful thought, it's the outrage. It is not balanced analysis, but sensationalism, curiosity, and confirmation bias. They feed you the content that reinforces beliefs and protects you from anything that might challenge them. These platforms are fertile grounds for our intellectual decay. They're not designed to inform you but to make you scroll. Every like, every click makes your brain light up. And slowly, your digital space is changed into a hall of mirrors. You don't see reality. You see your own biased thinking reflected back at you. No wonder stupidity flourishes in such situations. Not because we can't think, but because we are discouraged from thinking. These technical systems, digital systems, reward emotional simplicity over intellectual depth. They feed us memes and outraging clips. And we keep consuming them. In psychology, it is called confirmation bias, which is our tendency to accept only information that supports what we already believe. Social media exploits this bias very well. They don't challenge us, they comfort us and keep us intellectually inactive. We become addicted to screens which feed us shallow entertainment. Thinking fades and we start enjoying our inactive brain. In short, we exchange thinking for instant gratification. We enjoy memes more than we want to read an editorial. We scroll endlessly but rarely think of ideas. Some people worry about artificial intelligence for the fear that it will destroy human intelligence. The fact is, artificial intelligence doesn't have to destroy human intelligence. It just has to distract us long enough for us to stop using it voluntarily. Think about how often we outsource our thinking to machines. Even when driving, we rely on GPS. Sometimes for routes we take many times, like returning home from work. We follow instructions so mindlessly that we sometimes arrive at our destination without knowing how we got there. I must admit, it has happened to me as well. When I was asked to retrace the road without Google Map, I was lost. So I wasn't navigating the road, I was being navigated through them. Thus, stupidity isn't an accident. It is the outcome of such an extensive process. The rise of fake news hasn't happened suddenly. It is the product of the media that promote sensationalism instead of substance. Anger, not accuracy, gets engagement. Emotional appeal, not evidence, makes it viral. In a culture addicted to speed, simplicity, and instant gratification, thought-provoking information has no place. The result is that falsehood become the well-accepted norm. You may remember the anti-vaccine movement during COVID pandemic. But the impact of misinformation is beyond public health. They erode trust in institutions and deepen political divide. As people don't come out of their hall of mirrors, dialogue never occurs. People, especially those who are responsible for making decisions on our behalf, begins to make foolish choices. We saw that during COVID. Like viruses weaken our bodies, exposure to junk information weakens our mind. We stop questioning and thinking. And when that happens, stupidity isn't just individual failing. It becomes a threat to society, which is what has happened. However, not everything is doom and gloom. There are ways to deal with this problem. I will discuss them in following videos. Please like the video if you liked it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon. I would like to have your comments on this topic. Thanks for watching.